Listen, there's a big story back page of The Sun today. The trend is now Erik ten Hag set to be sacked as Manchester United fans lose the faith after the FA Cup semi-final on Sunday. It's an exclusive piece by Neil Custis, just taking a look at the Manchester United next manager odds. Gareth Southgate still the favourite 2-1. Graham Potter up there at 5-2. Thomas Tuchel 4-1. Roberto De Zerbi 7-1. Julian Nagelsmann's 10-1, and then Zinedine Zidane at 10-1. Now, Jeff, earlier on we mentioned the back pages of the paper, and you had a comment about Zinedine Zidane. Not for this, I believe.
No, I think Zinedine Zidane, look, it's a massive club and he's a massive name, so I think that, he would be a great shout. I don't necessarily see it happening. I think Xavi is another one at the moment, leaving Barca, United fans, but again, no management experience in this country, that's not always necessary, but when you mention the names at the top of that list, Manchester United fans might think things are bad now, but they'll be having nightmares at the prospect of one or two of them. Not me. I'm not casting aspersions on Gareth Southgate or Graham Potter at all, but I just don't think United fans would welcome them.
I think I might be wrong, but I think Zidane would excite them more than any of the names that you've mentioned there. I really do. But I'm with Jeff. I'm not sure I can see it happening.
Zidane, because of his winning experience.
Yeah, well, he's done it at a big club. Massively.
He's
great success at a massive club.
Out of football, though, for quite some time. The last few years, obviously, then when he left Real Madrid the last time, it was on having won nothing, I believe, that season. But his winning streak also in the history of La Liga was outstanding. The most consecutive away wins in La Liga, most trophies after 100 games, fewest losses after 100 games too. His stats are incredible, but it's been a long old time without him.
It has. Darren has suggested Mark Robbins.
Well, tactical masterclass from him at the weekend.
I think he's done a fantastic job at commentary. I really do. I genuinely do. But that's not going to happen, is it?
No,
there's no chance that's happening.
Unlikely. It's a really difficult one, and it's made more difficult, I think, for Manchester United by the fact that Bayern Munich are looking for a manager at the moment. Liverpool are looking for a manager at the moment. There are only so many top-level bosses to go round.
Absolutely. Listen, let's discuss that then. Erik ten Hag, there's a lot of change happening at the club. We heard from Mark Goldbridge yesterday. We've heard from a number of fans here at talkSPORT who want to stick by the manager because, as we know at Manchester United, hiring and firing has not worked.
Correct.
So is it the manager, or do we have to look at the players, their attitudes, and obviously the offload that's going to happen this summer?
You've got to look at the whole thing.
Exactly. So who actually would stay out of that current squad at Manchester United? Let's look at, say, some of the starting 11. Rashford, do you keep him?
I think, I've said it before, I think it's in everybody's best interest, including Marcus Rashford, that he moves on, because he looks to me a player that's stale, for want of a better expression. And we all know there's a player in there, and I just think it'd be best for him as much as anybody to go and move on and get a fresh challenge.
I certainly agree with you about Rashford. It's hard to comprehend what's going on in his head at the moment. And that's certainly affecting his performance.
Of course.
But, when we're talking about players that Manchester United, want to get rid of and players they want to keep, it's much easier, said than done, because most of these players are on huge contracts. They're not going to want to leave Manchester United and take a salary drop, because that's what it would be for most of them to go elsewhere.
Also, a number of fans could look at the players and say it's easier to count on one hand the players you would keep.
Yeah, completely.
That's a huge problem. Also, the lack of leadership at Manchester United too is also coming into question. Those players on the pitch, you look at, say, Jude Bellingham, another award for him last night. What he's done from moving to Spain. Declan Rice, you look at the young English leaders. Why don't Manchester United have one of those wrapped up, leading the way on and off the pitch?
Imagine if Manchester United, this is sadly how far they've dropped in terms of where players want to go to elite level. They've definitely dropped Manchester United. Manchester United years ago would have gone and signed Bellingham, Rice and Kane, and there's your difference right away.
And there's the difficulty as well, because if Manchester United came calling in the past, you went there.
Yeah.
But that's not the case any longer. There are alternatives, and a lot of players will think better alternatives. Anyway, there we go. Shebahn, thank you very much indeed.
Shebahn.
Thank you.
Pete from Nottingham says, now you've given airtime to that apologist for incompetent referees, why not balance your coverage up and invite Evangelos Marikanos on? Well, I would extend that invitation immediately. Mr. Marikanos, if you are listening and you want to come on, please give us a call. We will put you immediately to air.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.